What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. We are back from Vegas, back in our own regular rooms. How's it going, Sue?
Oh man, Mike's not going too good, but you already know, man. My day's been great. Been wearing the old the Duval chain. I don't want to call it a turnover chain because I was wearing a lot more than the turnovers, but everybody, I guess, since the age of the Hurricanes a couple years ago, they look at this and dub it a turnover chain. But I'm excited, man. 1-0. Let's go. How about you?
Good, man. I'm wearing my shit to show everybody that I'm not a bandwagoner. I support these teams when they lose, which is what's going to happen this year because the media hypes up teams too early for everything. But we'll talk about the actual games in a bit. But no,
yeah, you guys should definitely be excited because what the talk of the town was that offense and the defense really showed up and showed the fuck out.
Well, that's what I said on the pod. Our defense is good. Our defense is never the problem. It's just our idiot team that would lose to a high school team because they make too many stupid penalties.
Young man errors right there, bud. Young man errors. But yeah, we'll talk about that, man. I'm really excited. Football's back. And we haven't really been able to talk about it. We didn't do our normal preview because it hasn't been a normal preseason to do that. And I'm excited, man. There's no telling. The expert said we were only going to win 3 games this year, so we're a third of the way there, baby. Let's go.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about Vegas. At least sports-wise, we got together to watch a lot of sports. There was, of course, basketball every night. There was baseball, and then we also got to see the Thursday opener. How fun was it being able to just throw some money on some sports, get a little bit more excitement about watching teams you don't care about, anything like that?
It was a great time until I got back and all the underdogs bets that I was making. I mean, I missed the Game 6 Raptors bet. I didn't make the bet that night. I got down to the floor right after tip-off. My fault. Late night. Didn't get off the floor until 4:30 that morning. But that was my fault. I missed that one. But I'm kind of pissed off we didn't do 2 weeks, man, because I would probably be up a good $300 on sports betting because all the underdogs are hitting this weekend.
Yeah, the football would have been good to bet on. I could have
done some parlays. If I put $10 on all 16 underdogs, I'd be doing good because at least 6 of them hit.
No, I would have had some nice parlays. I knew Seattle was going to win. I knew KC was going to win if I would have jumped on that. I knew Baltimore was going to win. And I could have just done probably like 5 or 6 team parlay. I even knew the Saints were going to win. And I probably wouldn't have bet it because I'm stupid and bet with my heart instead of my head. But it was fun. I got like a yellow glow. I'm watching the LAFC game on TV. So
is it on FS1?
Got the grass. No, it's supposed to be on ESPN Plus, but because I live an hour from the stadium, they don't get to show it on my TV. Even though I can't go to the games or anything.
TV out here in the living room, I have it on Xbox.
Ridiculous. I hate blacking out. I'm gonna run for president just so I can forbid TV stations from blacking games out.
I was about to hold this up here so you could see it on my ESPN Plus that I got from you. Thank you, bud. But
yeah, it's so stupid because just because I live there, like I can't do anything. It's so stupid. But whatever.
Sorry, guys.
That's a story for a different day. But that's why I have a weird yellow tint instead of my normal white face. White face.
So you are able to actually watch the game even though it's not
legally.
Yeah, I was about to say not the what's his name? I was trying to think of the actor, the law-abiding citizen guy. Great actor. 300. Man, can't remember his name.
Gerard Butler.
There we go, baby. Yeah. Look at us. Look at us. I absolutely love Vegas. I'm so happy and blessed that we took our first trip to the Strip. You've been to Vegas a couple times for the NBA Summer League, but never actually on the Strip. Even though you were merely a mile off of the Strip, never touched it. But I'm very happy that we went when we did. Our last night, we chose Fremont Street. And I'm glad we did it our last night because if we would have done it one of the first 2 nights, we probably would have been totally turned off and not excavated as much as we did on the actual Strip. Because, man, Fremont Street, even though it's COVID,
it was overload too, bro.
It was fast, it was bright, and it was chaotic. Apparently, usually it's $4 or $5 to get in to Fremont Street. So I feel like since it is free, we had a lot more of those Nates and the San Francisco people out there trying to hustle and get the donations and stuff like that. But as far as the street performers, we had a guy do a headstand on a Tito's bottle. We had a man break his legs. We had another man who kind of did the same stuff but couldn't dance at all and just took my $5.
No, so this guy, shout out to him. We don't know his name or anything like this, but he's basically a rubber man.
Dude.
And that guy was the coolest. He's this guy that he just stands there with like a Jabberwocky mask on, and it says like put in money to start the show, and you put in money and he goes.
He starts the show.
That
was absolutely amazing. That was definitely probably one of my highlights, doing the zip lining and stuff.
Yeah.
Travis didn't do it with us, unfortunately.
Well, that's because we did do it the last night, and I was down on money because I've been betting bad bets.
And thankfully, we did it before I hit the casino floor, where I ended up losing $420 the last night. But I absolutely had a great time, man. I'm so happy that you had the idea to go there and place the bet on your Bucks, and we were going to place the bet on the Bucks Jags. I did place $20 on the Jags to win the Super Bowl, and a lot of people were telling me, dude, you should have done the AFC Championship game and the playoffs and stuff like that. I wasn't thinking that far. You did. You did all the way up to the Super Bowl. You were smart. So when you guys do get your offense intact and get the penalties and the mistakes out of the way and make it to the Super Bowl, you'll have funny money ready to go watch the Super Bowl in Vegas. I'm just going to have to hope we make it there and spend money on hope going to the Super Bowl, because it's pretty much in my backyard when it comes to NFL stadiums.
Right.
About a 3.5 hour trip over to Tampa. So I'll save up a couple thousand to go to that, and then I'll have my $3,600 ticket ready to go cash in for Vegas and spend on round 2 of us going there.
Yeah.
But
the only bet from Tampa that I did not bet on is the division title, because I did say, and I think I said on this podcast, I think the Saints are still the class of our division, and we can go ahead and shift into games now. I think the Saints are the class of our division, and that showed today. Yes. Of course, there were a lot of issues, and this is kind of what I expected. There was no preseason, no off-season workouts really, other than through Zoom or whatever. So the teams that have been together for many years, they are going to be the teams that do well, and that's the Saints. The teams that have not been together, which is us, we have a new quarterback, a new tight end that luckily just blocked a lot today, but a bunch of new skill position pieces. So I figured there would be problems, but we were kind of in the game minus a few really dumb things. Tom Brady threw a really bad pass behind the receiver that turned into a pick six. He had a miscommunication pick with Mike Evans, which just happens. But I'm sorry, I'm watching LAFC get their
I'm
like
same.
Normal,
that was the we'll talk. I don't even.
That's how we've talked about LAFC many times. They did the same thing they always do. Their defense doesn't understand what soccer is.
If this podcast had $1 for every time that an LAFC player got deked for a goal, we would have as much money as Joe Rogan does from Spotify.
Yeah, we'd be retired in Vegas right now, just betting against stupid LAFC. But anyways, so I knew that the teams like the Saints that have been together for a while, the Seahawks, those guys were going to do better, at least in week 1. And that showed. And I was pissed because of the stupidity of the mistakes that we did make. After the pick that Tom Brady threw that wasn't an interception, we should have had a 3-and-out. And on a deep ball on third down, we got a stupid pass interference on the 2-yard line, which instead of giving them a punt back to us, gave them a first down and goal, and they scored on that. Then a little bit later, we get them to 4th and 2. Again, get the ball, are ready to get the ball back, do our thing right before halftime. They come out after the 2-minute warning, lining up in their offense. And everyone that's ever played or watched football knows, just don't jump off sides. They're probably going to call a timeout. It's close to halftime anyway. And
on the stupid ass Jags for this, but keep going.
And Vita Vea, who is our second-year guy, and he was pretty much injured, or third-year guy maybe, but he's been injured for a while. He jumped off sides right away. It didn't even get down to like under 10 seconds. It was like the first hike that Drew Brees did. He jumped. So that was stupid. And then as we're trying to make a comeback, we get within 7. They go down. I think they kick a field goal, make it 10. Or make it 2 touchdowns, whatever they did. And they go to kick it off to us. We have a shot. They do a pooch kick to our guy, and the second line man turns around and tries to make an over-the-shoulder grab runs into the actual returner, and they drop it, and the Saints get it back. And you are taught in any league that has a kickoff, not all young leagues have a kickoff, but the young leagues that have a kickoff, if you are not the 2 back return man, as soon as the ball goes over your head, you finally got to block. That's your only job. You don't turn around and go trying to make some over-the-shoulder catch. If it's over your head, it's over your head. The guy behind you, who is the guy that gets paid millions of dollars to actually catch the kick, he'll take care of business. So it's stupid things like that frustrate me. But the Saints were the better team. They deserved it. And like you said, we will get those stupid mistakes should be fine because we are professionals and they'll understand that they did something wrong and hopefully fix it.
One thing I do like, I'm going to talk about Tom Brady a little bit here. I like that he didn't kind of tuck away who he is. He stayed the same person on the sidelines. You saw that passion. You saw him wanting that game. When we were texting, I wasn't able to see a lot. I was working, and it was kind of the last little push of the night. But whenever I was able to watch, a couple of times it showed his animation on the sidelines, and I feel like just that there is going to be able to get those young bucks really in tune. I mean, you had 6 weeks maybe to get ready for the season. No games up to this point, and usually you have about 8-9 weeks to get ready with a good 5 weeks of games going on as far as your scrimmage and then your 4 preseason games. And really all you got was maybe 2 scrimmages for each organization. So we're going to see that. I don't think I saw any game today that teams look perfect. Players look perfect besides Gardner Minshew.
Russell Wilson looked like a beast.
He did. I didn't catch any of the Seahawks game. I was surprised by that game. I was surprised by the Niners game as well. I don't remember who they were playing, but for them to lose,
Arizona.
I was very
Duke
surprised.
Went off on him.
He did. I was very surprised by that. I'm not doing fantasy football this year, so I wasn't needing to be by my phone that much. I had the Jags game playing while I was in the kitchen, and after that went off, I didn't have really the TV aspect. I was able to watch the Dolphins. They're going to be a gritty team this year. They have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. I did want to shout them out. And they're going to be a team to look forward to, not particularly this year, because everybody knows they are in a rebuild and they're in a division that looks to probably still be – I mean, shit, the Bills looked fucking –
Yeah, the Bills look good.
The Bills look
Patriots
great.
look like they haven't skipped a beat. So.
He's like Cam Newton, and I a lot of people in the bar were starting to flack that late fourth quarter when Cam Newton finally became Cam Newton again.
Right.
But I like that. I really like that. We didn't think we were going to see that, and we saw on the NFL Network during the training camp stuff that they were doing. He's doing his stretches, and he's doing his little groove and stuff, but I still
Did you see that outfit he showed up in today?
That yellow?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, and it looked so good. He looked like a pretty little canary.
That's Cam being Cam, man. But
man,
yeah, to mirror your other point, this is not a retirement tour by Tom Brady by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, he's not mailing it in, that's for sure. And if anybody can mirror his passion, Mike Evans was trying to mirror it by being a little baby. I don't know what he was doing. He was trying to get in fights with Marshawn Lattimore every single time down the field. And I give him props for trying to play, but a 75% Mike Evans is going to get shut down by Lattimore, and he can't get mad about that.
That's when that first pick from Lattimore, I feel like Bruce Arians should have been like, listen, we might put you in the slot a couple plays, and if he picks you up, then you're definitely done.
Yeah.
But Godwin's going out to the one. I'm gonna do a lot of inside routes with him at the one. I'm not doing any flies. Fuck that. But I'm saving my.
It was nice that Evans was out there to get Godwin on an easier cornerback because Godwin had a few nice plays. But aside from that, yeah, Evans was clearly not 100%. And even at 100%, Lattimore is going to shut you down more often than not. So
yeah, and you guys were definitely able to show that the Saints are weak, very weak in the middle of the secondary, and it's pick and play. And that aspect of their defense, but all those mistakes were just too costly, man. And that's I'm gonna shift over to the Jags now. That's what I really love and admire about Jay Gruden's offense. We had a shit ton of penalties early, a lot of mistakes, and we were able to come back and kind of hone down on our defense of mistakes. I mean, like you were saying earlier with y'all's false start, it was ticking down to the end of the third quarter. You have Phillip Rivers, who is one of the most audible quarterbacks in the game. He is always going to try to draw you off sides. But when there's the final 30 seconds of the quarter, you pretty much know they're not going to run a play. And if they are going to run a play, it's going to be probably within the 10 to 7 seconds of the snap. So if they do get an incompletion, they can get a quick incompletion and get one more play. And it's not going to happen at between 3 and 1. Once that ticker at the end of the third quarter gets down to 3, 2, 1, there's zero reason to jump. The play is not going to happen. And in Madden, it will. You're damn right. And when you're playing Madden and it gets down to 1, you take that right outside or left, whatever you can, and you bring him up and you just start sprinting. And right when that person presses A, or if they don't, quarter's over. But in real life, you stay the fuck still like you're the Statue of Liberty and you haven't moved since the 1800s. I wasn't able to hear it, but I could only imagine that the ref said, false start, encroachment on the whole fucking defensive line, because it went 1, 3, 2, 1, and everybody went. Everybody went. And it's the first week. It's going to happen. But I was so happy the play selection that we had and the routes that we were running and the ability from our playmate. DJ Shark, man, is a fucking beast. D.D. Westbrook seems to be getting left behind from a lot of our rookies. I forget Clay Brooks, I want to say is his name. He showed out. James Robinson, our running back, he showed out. Laviska Shenault, the dude, I forget what school he went to right now. Colorado, I want to say. He showed out and the passing game and in the running game. And that's Jay Gruden's offense, baby. And I'm excited for that. And I'm sure as shit that Washington is excited that he's not there anymore calling their offensive plays, because they snuck in a win today too, man.
They won a tough game too, where they were down, I think, like 17-0 right off the bat. And shout out to Ron Rivera. Did you see this story of Ron Rivera? So
with the cancer and all that stuff?
Yeah, so he got diagnosed with cancer earlier this year, but of course he still wants to be there for his team. Well, he was feeling bad at halftime, so he went to go get an IV at halftime, and Haskins actually stepped up in the locker room and did kind of the coach speech and really got them to come out, and they made a comeback. So that shows a lot of big things. I mean, that shows heart for Ron Rivera to be there when he's clearly not feeling up to snuff because of his cancer. And then it shows big on their leader, their quarterback, Haskins, to be able to step up in the moment. So that's really great that Washington now has a leader. It's been many years since they've had a guy that they could truly call their leader.
Yeah, for sure. And I was down on Haskins. Even coming into this season, I was down on Haskins. But after seeing the replays of that game, he looked just like a lot of quarterbacks to come out of OSU, even Joe Burrow. Got him. But yeah, no, just like a lot of quarterbacks to come out of that university, man, they seem to have a grasp on every single thing that has to do with football. Cardell Jones being a third stringer, the only reason he was a third stringer in the league was because of the way he carried himself as a quarterback. And that's right. What's expected in that organization, and even more from Coach Day. I keep wanting to say Robert Day. I know that's not his name. That's my son's grandfather's name. But it's something with an R, I want to say. I don't know. But but that's something that he's carrying over too. And I love it. Hopefully they're able to play, because that boy Justin Fields is a monster. And he's going to be great too. But yeah, man, shout out to Haskins. Shout out to that team. Shout out to that organization, to their fans who are going through a lot of stuff right now, man. I mean, their logo is a big W.
Their name is the football team.
Yeah, it's tough to be a Washington football team fan right now, but to see what you're seeing on the field that has nothing to do with all the bullshit going on off the field, you have to be happy. You have to be excited. You have to strap on your little pig mask and go to work and cheer, because there's a lot to cheer for. I mean, the Eagles, there was a lot to expect this year out of Jalen Reagor. I think he only had that one big reception.
Yeah, it was a nice reception. It was like 55 yards or something. But
not too much out of him, but you have to be excited. That division Cowboys just lost is pretty much up for grabs, and they could shock the world if they were to come out. They cut AP, which was a shock, and they didn't really fall back at all in the running game today.
Yeah, and their defense looks nice. I mean, Chase Young is there to stay. And we're going to talk about a few rookies, I think, but Chase Young stepped up. I know he had like at least a sack. I was trying to – it's hard to see what defensive players do when you're watching Red Zone, but I know that his name came up a couple times. And then, like you said, Reagor was pretty good. We had –
So, yeah, Chase Young had 4 total tackles with 1.5 sacks and a forced fumble.
Yeah, so there you go. That's probably when his name got brought up then on Red Zone because they don't show Red Zone all that much defense. But, yeah, that's a good start to your career. And another guy that we want to shift to who had a nice start to his career is Joe Burrow. And he had a great – did you see the replay of his first touchdown?
Yeah.
It looked like a guy that had been in the league for multiple years. Instead of – it was a design QB draw, and most of the time on design QB draws, they're just going to run until they hit a person and kind of fall over or maybe try to juke him, whatever. Well, what Burrow did is he slowed down, let the blocker get back in front of him, took his time, he was patient. And a lot of times you don't see rookies that are that patient, especially quarterbacks, because even though he's a good running quarterback, that's not his job. That's not what he's practicing all the time. So for him to not like be all jumpy and excited when he gets a QB draw called is huge. And Cincinnati should be happy. And they should be even more happy about that 2-minute drill that he led, where he brought them all the way into the red zone, gave them the chance to tie the ball game. And then, of course, the Bengals will always be the Bengals, so the kicker missed the field goal. But they should be very happy about their freshman as well. Their rookie as well. For sure.
And he's not a rookie, but I wanted to talk about this to kind of lead into another rookie. I watched the recap of this game, and Tyrod Taylor did not impress me at all. So I went and looked at the stats, and I'm looking at them again. And the thing you know about Tyrod is he's a dual threat. He's able to get it done in both ends. He didn't get a touchdown throwing. He didn't get a touchdown running. I don't know. He didn't. And he got sacked twice. He barely made it over 50% throwing the ball, 16 of 30. And even in the recap, it didn't look like it was his day. So I ask, when do we see Justin Herbert? If you watched the Hard Knocks like I did, this kid looks good. Like, he looks good. How long? I'm thinking if we see one more like this with Tyrod and this kid has a grasp of the offense.
Didn't they win, though?
Yeah, they did.
That's the tough part is if they keep winning, I think they're going to keep Herbert on the sideline. It's just kind of the way it's going to be. They're not even trying – unless they think he can win now, but they're not really even trying to win. So the fact that Tyrod Taylor got them a win, I feel like is huge. But it's funny. I was listening to a lot of podcasts and TV shows and radio shows and all that before the season started. Anywhere from fantasy, even though I'm not doing fantasy this year, all the way to just regular football because I wanted to brush up on my knowledge. And when they were talking about rookie quarterbacks that they think would start this year, Herbert did not even really come up. It was Joe Burrow, obviously, and then Tua Tagovailoa, and then Jalen Hurts was a name that popped up a lot.
Because Carson's injuries. It has nothing to do with Carson's game.
But you saw the game today. Let's go LAFC. You saw the game today where Carson Wentz looked good to start with, but then when the pressure started heating up, he plays safe. I feel like he plays safe. And if Jalen Hurts is waiting there in the wings and he's any good, but yeah, of course, his point was injuries. But my point was that Herbert doesn't even get brought up. I don't think anyone expects Herbert to start right away, regardless of whether they win or lose or how Tyrod looks. I just don't think that's in their game plan.
That's a lot of respect to the quarterback that Tyrod is. He's not the quarterback that's going to go out and throw for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's not going to be a Lamar and go out and run for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. but he is the guy who can manage the game, and he finds what needs to be done, and he'll get the U to win. He might not be able to put it in the end zone, but you're going to be able to get fucking 4 field goals and win the game. Like that. I mean, they got 3 today, but that's just how he is. That's how he got the Bills to the playoffs, and that's how they almost beat the Jaguars in those playoffs in the wild card.
Right.
And that's a testament to the player he is, and that's a lot of respect to him for Justin's name not coming up. But they have Keenan Allen. They have Hunter Henry. They have playmakers. They have Austin Eckler. They have this rookie running back that is supposed to be really good.
Right.
They have so much on offense. How long until they just flip the switch and let Justin open it up? Because Tyrod is that game management type quarterback, but he's not that playmaker who's going to be able to open up all of those weapons. And how many practices until you just say, fuck it? Well, I think it's going to be week 4.
I think the reason that Herbert's name never came up is because KC is expected to run it again. So if the Chargers see in their team in these first 2, 3, 4 weeks a team that could potentially combat the Chiefs or the Raiders, who also won today on the road, if they see somebody that are like, hey, we actually are a lot closer than we thought we were, they might start Herbert. But they feel like they're a few pieces behind Kansas City, which most teams feel that way. And if they can't compete with Kansas City, why try other than just pride,
Their defense, I mean, Derwin James is out.
Right.
Fucking sucks, man. Shout out to him, dude. God bless his soul. That really sucks. Same injury he had in college, just a different knee. Out again. It really sucks for him. There's another guy that they think he tore his Achilles today, a really important player for that team. Don't remember who or what team it was, but I saw that. But, man, it stinks, and he's a prolific player for that defense. But still, that defense looked good today. They looked really – I saw it in the recaps and looking at the stats and everything. It only given up 13 points. I mean, they looked really, really good. And it's not the best opponent in the world. They're supposed to be better than the Jags, but not the best opponent in the world. But still, to only give up 13 points in the first week when it seems like a lot of people don't have their 10 toes down in the game and everybody's just kind of riding the tricycles where the training wheels on and figuring it out still, it was a great look for that team. And I can just only imagine what it would be like if they did have a baller that can sling it 70 yards on the field like Justin Herbert. And he can also do the same thing in the run game that Tyrod is able to do and exploit in defenses. And there's nothing lacking in the throwing game. It only gets better from there. But I don't think they lose anything in the way they move the quarterback in the pocket and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's more mobile than he looks. Of course, being out here, I got to see stupid Pac-12 games, and he's a good quarterback. It was funny because they were talking about him and Sam Darnold. What is this? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because Herbert played forever at Oregon, but he looked better already than Sam Darnold, and then he just decided to come back and make another year, and his stock actually went down, I think, after that. But yeah, I'm ready when he's ready. I think he's going to be a good quarterback as well. But Tyrod Taylor's not a slouch. It's not like he's just a placeholder either. So if he can get them wins, they might just stick it out. So what other player or team or whatever shout-outs do you have for football before we take a break and move on to basketball?
Josh Allen. The Buffalo
Your Bills, Josh Allen or Buffalo? Oh.
No, I think my Josh Allen got hurt. But I'm not sure what's going on with that. I wasn't able to find anything about that. But, yeah, he got hurt. Didn't look good. But the Bills' Josh Allen, man, he is a baller. He is going to be great. I think that team might have a chance to end up winning that division. It's obviously going to come down to them and the old Patriots.
Yeah.
They beat the Jets. The Dolphins got beat by the Patriots today. The Dolphins do have a little bit of hope, but – it's the Bills to lose, I feel like, at this point in time. Just the team they have and that offense they have, and that addition of Stephon Diggs was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely great. And he gelled right in. They gave him a lot of looks. He's the attention of that offense. And I don't really see that slowing down too much. I would like to see a lot more from the rushing game.
Well, the reason that they didn't is because he fumbled it twice.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. He fumbled a lot last year too. So if he can get that together, we know he's a great running quarterback. And to get a win and get a win looking good with 2 fumbles lost from your quarterback is pretty huge. So,
but I don't think, especially in the division they're in, they might be able to get away with that in the AFC South.
Mm-hmm.
They might be able to get away with that in the AFC West. But in the AFC East, if that's the only person that you're going to run and throw with, what happened?
We went up 3-1, and with like basically halftime, we just stood there and let them go from the kickoff all the way down to score again to go 3-2.
That's great
in like 20 seconds.
But you're Bill Belichick. If you go into that game and your quarterback is what he has to take away in the running game, you're fucked. You are absolutely fucked. You cannot have your running back one that went to what was it at? What's
Wyoming?
No. Devin Singletary went down here to it's in
FIU or FAU.
FAU. What is that? That's a Division I, but that's like a Power 8 school.
Yeah, it's even lower than the Group of 5, I believe.
So if you're gonna go and make that your running back, your running back, you have to give him more than 9 carries. You have to. Yeah. Whether it's 10, that's fine. No, I'm kidding. But you have to give him about 15 carries. Your quarterback cannot run the ball 14 times and throw the ball 46 times.
Right.
That cannot happen in the AFC East. Cannot happen. Old dudes down there in what's his name? Brian Flores at Miami?
Yeah.
Looks like he's a hell of a defensive coach.
He is, yeah.
A hell of a defensive coach. So that's not going to happen even against them 2 times a year. And if you think that might work against Bill Belichick, you're smoking on something that isn't allowed in the NFL. Don't do it. Don't try doing that. And so that's the one knock I have to have on that team. But for a guy that's, second, third year in the league, to be able to come out and do those things from a college like Wyoming, it's awesome. It's really great to see. It's something like North Dakota State. They have a guy there right now that's supposed to be better than Carson Wentz.
Right. Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to DeAndre Hopkins. This man got traded, right? Yeah, I guess he didn't walk. He got traded, and he was mad because they wouldn't give him money, whatever. He finally got money. He finally has a good culture, whatever. And I think it was 15 targets, but he ended up with 154 catches or yards and a touchdown in week 1. And then he tweeted out, "Is this what you guys wanted, Houston?" So shout out to him. I mean, he stepped up, got them a huge win, and Kyler Murray is happy, man. Larry Fitzgerald is happy to not be the only pass catcher on that team. And,
for sure.
And this offense is looking up.
And really, I mean, the Texans did lose, but I think Bill O'Brien's happy, and I'm happy. David Johnson didn't do bad. He got the first touchdown.
In the NFL season.
Yeah, the only bet I won. But he got the first touchdown. I mean, I don't think Bill O'Brien's too sad about it. The Texans are still probably pissed off because they have Randall Cobb and Kenny Stills to throw to. So, but yeah, it was great. I mean, it's a Jaguar guy, but it's rightfully so. Leonard Fournette, when he got when he got released and ended up on Tampa, he was quoted saying something. I'm paraphrasing. "I'm happy I finally have a quarterback." Right. Did Tom Brady have a perfect QBR today? I'm not sure what it was.
No, he threw a touchdown to the Saints, so it didn't.
Oh.
It kind of affected his QBR.
That sucks. Well, Gardner Minshew threw 1 incompletion, and it was not to the Colts. It was to the ground. He was 19 for 20 with 3 touchdowns. He did get sacked 4 times, which goes to show our offensive line is still asshole, which I already knew that was going to happen. But the guy, 19 for 20, perfect QBR. Shout out Gardner. And he was quoted in the locker room saying, "This isn't even the fucking scratch. Don't be happy. We want to know. We got a long way to fucking go." And that's my fucking quarterback. I don't give a damn. Trevor Lawrence can go and win 3 Super Bowls and the fucking end up in the Hall of Fame, and Gardner could win 3 playoff games, and that's that for that guy. I don't care. I want that dude running my team. That's my quarterback. Sorry, Leonard, you're 1-0 with your quarterback, but me and my quarterback, we're 1-0. I love you, Travis. That's not a knock on you. That's literally
Leonard Fournette He looked okay, but he is definitely our number 2 running back. He is our number 2 running back.
Well, I also think that has to do with the complicated risk it, no biscuit offense, and he's only had like 10 days to get used to it. So they
Ronald
gave
Jones
him 5
looked
touches.
Good, bro.
He did.
He looked really good.
But there's really not a lot to that running game, and I think Fournette will do a lot better for the for sure 100% run plays.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that's going to produce in that offense. He is the type of guy from carry 18 to 27 is when he really eats you up. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how that's – but last year he had 70-plus receptions. So he is able to do that. But Ronald was – there's no reason to replace him in any way.
No, especially not today, but it's nice to have that safety net. The last shout out for football I want to give is not actually what happened on the field, and it's actually also against my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I found it really hilarious. They were interviewing Cam Jordan after the game, and they asked him how it felt to be in an atmosphere with no fans and how the crowd noise or lack of crowd noise affected them or anything like that. And he said, "Oh, it's fine. It just seemed like we were in a Tampa Bay home game." So I was kind of pissed at the time, but that was really hilarious. So good job, Cam Jordan. You got us on that one. You deserved it. You deserve to talk when you win. So, but it was funny. I was actually laughing pretty hard. I was like, you jerk.
But real quick, while we're doing shout outs, God, my mic's messing up. I want to shout out Joe Steinbach. Right now, he's our number 1 fan, man, and I love you. He's excited for the podcast. He's excited for sports. I love you, Joe. You're the best.
Well, I hope he's excited for Manscaped because our sponsor is still with us even after that shit show that we had last week. I will tell you that the razor is working totally fine. It was just dead. I promise. It's in there. It's working. I used it. We're good. But anyways, Manscaped is here to partner with us and help you guys out. And they're still around with us, even though we have these crazy things that go on with their products. But I just because it's cheesy and I want to do it. The Clippers and the Nuggets are at Game 7 now. We're going to talk about that after the break. But they extended the Clippers and the Nuggets as long as they could go, just so we could have this Clippers Nuggets talk. So Manscaped is here for when your matchup with your Nuggets up against the Clippers gets to Game 7. They'll be ready. You'll be ready. They're here to make your balls happy.
For sure. And I'm not going to show you guys because it's still really disgusting and all. But we were just in Vegas, and everybody knows that place is a desert. It's fucking dry. It's dry.
Yes,
so my inner leggings area has been very dry. Looks like, I don't know, polka dots everywhere. It's bad. Been putting lotion on it. Well, this morning, before I went to work, your boy put on the crop preserver. Bro. Did
it just magically just become
better? No, it's still there, but it's way better. I don't know what it is. I don't know what is in that
pH balance, bro.
But it makes it, the moisture is, oh my goodness. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I didn't wear it yesterday. I went to work and just the humidity and everything, it didn't really work that well, but I put it on this morning, made sure I did, and man, it was the best thing ever. It's really helping out. It's not a miracle drug. I didn't just wipe it on and it's just completely better. But for what it's supposed to be for, to help you keep your skin moisturized throughout the day and make sure no chafing happens, because yesterday with my dry skin already and the moisture in that kitchen, bro, yesterday was hell. I was begging Larissa to put that freaking lotion on. Like, it was bad. Like, I didn't even want to do it myself. It was bad. So I'm fine. I'm way better than I was yesterday. I'm ready to hop in that shower and put some more on for my sleep, because the crop preserver, pH balance, whatever the hell that means, the ball cream is absolutely fucking amazing, and it really does work. And if you need it on the inside of your legs to deal with the chafing too, fucking do it, because you will be happy that you did.
Absolutely. And we could sit here. We have bullet points of facts and numbers and stats and all this stuff from Manscaped. But we feel over here at No Scrubs Allowed that the personal experience is the best seller for this stuff. And we can tell because we do use it. It is that good. And he's talking about the crop preserver. It's really good. I always talk about the crop reviver, that spray on stuff. It is just as good. Man, I got home from Vegas. I made it back at like noon, I think. And I had already showered, so I didn't really want to shower again. But I wanted to go out and get some stuff for the apartment because I used up all my food. I just sprayed that bad boy on, went to the store, did my thing, came back, felt good. The pH balance thing, it's not a myth. I don't know anything about it other than it works. But I think personal experience is really the way to go. And that's what we did. The Crop Reviver, the Crop Preserver, the perfect package comes with both of those things, along with that Lawnmower 3.0 that does work. I'm telling you it does work. I used it today. And it comes right now. It comes with those boxer briefs and that travel bag. I brought the bag to Vegas. It did its thing. It fit everything Manscaped-wise in the bag. Plus, I put sunscreen in there, deodorant, contact lens solution, all that. It's big enough for everything that you would need in the bathroom. And I mean, we were there for 5 days, so it did its job.
For sure. And I also want to point out with the Manscaped boxers, they are meant for active wear. We were looking out our view of our room that we got after a whole incident happened.
Second room.
But I saw the Bellagio, and I was like, tomorrow, Bellagio, it's right there. 10 minutes. Well, about 2.2 miles later, in about a 45-minute walk, we finally got to the Bellagio, and then we walked it back after walking a little bit farther and having a great time out on the Strip. And I was fine. I was absolutely fine. And the boxers are fine. It was a lot of walking in them, and it's fine. I'll go through a day of work in new Polo or Tommy Hilfiger boxers, and they'll be ripped up to shreds. Yeah. We walked about 9 miles, and my boxers are still brand new and fresh, ready to go after I've washed all my clothes. They're straight. So the Manscaped boxers, if you are somebody who does work outdoors, or if you like to play a lot of basketball and it seems like your stuff just kind of gets a little chafed and rotten up, get that perfect 3.0 package, because it comes with, like you said, the crop wipes, the preserve, and also the boxers. And when you put the preserve and the boxers together, it's a winning solution. You cannot go wrong.
Absolutely. And of course, all of those things are great, but what's better than that, Seal? Saving money on it. So if you head over to manscaped.com right now and use our code NOSCRUBS, you get 20% off and free shipping off your entire order. So that's really awesome. Head over to manscaped.com, use our code NOSCRUBS, and you'll get 20% off and free shipping. I promise you it's worth it. It's worth it for the whole package, but if you can't afford the whole package, like Seal said, grab the preserver, grab those boxers in combination, especially if you're active, and they will work. Your balls will definitely thank you. So let's shift gears and let's talk a little bit about basketball before we get out of here. There's still one game left. I mentioned it during our promo. The Denver Nuggets and the LA Clippers somehow are back to a Game 7. Denver, when they're down 3-1, when they're down 15-plus points, it does not matter. You cannot count these guys out. Jokic and Murray did their thing. I know you were working. I didn't get to watch this at all, and not because I didn't get to watch it. I had no clue that they were playing so early on Sunday. I was focused on football, blah, 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 and I saw that the Nuggets had forced a Game 7. So all I got to do was check the stats, but how impressed are you with these Nuggets that they don't care about having their backs against the wall? Jamal Murray said it best in his post-game interview last game, that they seem to play better when their backs are against the wall, and they don't like it because they don't want their backs against the wall. But if that's what works, that's what works. What do you think about this team? Do they have a chance in Game 7 here?
They do. But the only reason is Pat Bev is, for some reason –
he is trash.
Dude, but on defense, when he's not in the game is whenever they're able to go on runs. Kawhi is not able to contain Jamal Murray like Doc thought he was going to be able to. Jamal Murray is still going to go and show out. It doesn't matter who is on him. Paul George is showing up to not be the defensive prowess that we thought that he was, and he's damn sure not showing up to be playoff P on both sides of the court. He might be doing good on the offensive end, finally in the playoffs this season and in the bubble, but it's just not going to transform on both sides of the court, and I don't think that's going to in Game 7. But I also don't think Pat Bev is going to play more than 20 minutes in Game 7, which could end up screwing them over, depending on how their team ends up performing. I mean, they had the win tonight, the Nuggets did, and Michael Porter Jr. didn't even really do that much. He was efficient, but he didn't really do that much. It was all Jamal Murray. What's his name? Grant Harris? Is that his name? He showed up a little bit. Number 9, I forget his name, the wing.
Gary Harris.
Gary Harris, yes. And then the wing.
Jeremy Grant. That's where you got the Grant and the Harris together.
Jeremy Grant, he didn't do anything on offense. Like, that's without Pat on the court, being a pester, going up to the free throw line whenever the fucking Nuggets are on the free throw and just saying whatever. I don't know what he says. I have no idea. It looks like you're wearing pantyhose, boy. Like, yeah, who knows? Just something weird and out on Mars and stuff like that. And without him on the court, the Nuggets are really able to make these runs and come up. And they got to win, a good win, a solid win.
And I will say this, anyone that does not want the Lakers to win, which is me, they better be cheering for the Nuggets. And not because I think the Nuggets are better than the Clippers, but because Jokic has proven that these Clippers big men are nothing. And Anthony Davis will destroy them. At least Jokic maybe can match up to Anthony Davis on the offensive end, but through 6 games, if they would have won in 4 games, maybe there would be a chance. But these in Game 5 and Game 6, Jokic has shown that these big men have nothing. They just go out and they get fouls on him like that. Yeah. They can't. They need to just let him stand there.
And that's my one knock on Doc. Why not let Joakim? What if Austin went up to his dad and knocked on his forehead one night and been like, I got a knock on Doc? God, that's my dad joke for the night. But no, that would be my one knock on him, is you have Patrick Patterson, right, who is a nice three-point shooter and is also a very good perimeter defender. And you also have Joakim Noah, who can get in there and pester the shit out of Jokic. I mean, the guy's 56 years old, and he won a national championship about 35 years ago. But still, go Gators. Joakim Noah is still a threat, a pester. Back in the day, he used to pester LeBron, who is the most physical freak we've ever seen in the world. But LeBron did not like going up against the Bulls, and it wasn't because of Derrick Rose, because he didn't have to be the one to get Derrick Rose in the eye. That wasn't his job. His job was to try to get past Joakim Noah, which he hated to try to do because Joakim Noah knows where to be. He knows position, just like Al Horford, because he was coached by Billy Donovan, best college coach ever. Sorry, Coach K. But no, for real though. But no, it's just I don't understand why he's only getting 1 minute and Patrick Patterson is just sitting there chilling and being a cheerleader the whole time. They both are. Joakim Noah's doing a great job at it. He's
he's active.
He's very into the game. But I don't know why he's not at least getting a good 15, 20 minutes of real minutes.
Especially with Zubac and Harrell proving that they can't touch him. They can't do anything to him.
Harrell is something. And I feel like they're clinging on to Harrell. I don't know what's going on with Zubac, if they really feel like he is that better than Joakim Noah at this point in time.
Yeah.
If they just haven't seen enough. But he isn't it on defense. He really isn't it on offense. He gets inside and he doesn't get the ball in the net. It's not happening. He's not really doing it. And Montrez is
whatever happened to him
on the
when he was out for his personal reasons. I just don't think he's mentally back, man. Whatever it is, I think his mind's somewhere else.
I agree 1,000%. And who knows what could happen? But you have LeBron. Let's just take everybody out of it. All right. You have LeBron and you have AD. Those are the 2 guys. And then you have Jamal Murray and you have Jokic. Jamal Murray's already showed he can go up against Kawhi. So I don't think he's going to be intimidated by LeBron. But on the offensive side with LeBron and AD, will Jokic and Jamal be able to overcome that and win 4 games against them?
No, I don't think they will. I don't think either one of these teams can beat Lakers, which kind of sucks. But especially with playoff Rondo. But I think
the Clippers could really come out and go defense by committee and throw Zubac. They can throw Montrez. They can throw Patterson at him. They can throw Joakim Noah. It's just up to Doc to actually do it. And
I
we
think
both
the
know it's not
better
going to happen.
I think the better strategy would be to let Davis do his thing and try to stop Caruso and Kuzma and Rondo, because which Kuzma hasn't done much at all, but Caruso's hit some big shots. Rondo's hitting big shots.
Kuzma hit a big shot the other night.
Oh, really? Kuzma sucks.
Big corner three.
But that was Caruso. The dagger?
Not the dagger, but with like 3 minutes left.
But yeah, so those guys need to be stopped. And I think that's where, even though the Nuggets have been bad on defense, except when they go down 3-1, but Jeremy Grant can defend, Gary Harris can defend, and those guys can get thrown out there. Lou Williams cannot defend. Paul George right now cannot defend. So it's really just Kawhi trying to single-handedly do this, and Pat Bev when he's not fouling out in 5 minutes. But those are the only two guys trying to do it. At least on the Nuggets, they're showing. It's weird because the Nuggets are not supposed to be the better defensive team. And Jeremy Grant and Gary Harris are really playing well. Once Gary Harris came back from his injury or COVID or whatever he had, it's been a different team.
I think the best chance for the Lakers not to get it, if the Clippers do go through and it's just Kawhi on AD and Paul George on LeBron, and you just hope that you can keep AD to 25 and you can keep LeBron to 25.
Right.
And then Lou can do enough with Caruso. Pat Bev can do enough with Rondo that they have the better chance. But like you said, if Frank Vogel is the hell of a coach that I think he is, he's just sitting there licking at the chops, just ready to go. And has AD, they're just looking every day. Hey, look at this hole. Hey, look at this hole. Bro, look at this hole. Look at Jokic. Look at you. Look at Jokic. Look at you. Look at Jokic. Look at this. Yeah. Look what he did. 4-0.
Exactly.
Finals. Let's get it.
So there's still a chance that it's going to be the 1-2 seed in the West. Well, the East is already set, and it is the 3 seed against the 5 seed, which is really the 4 seed, but they blew their bubble games a little bit. But it's Boston and Miami, and both of these teams are doing it with a full team. I mean, yes, Jason Tatum's good. Yes, Jimmy Butler is good. But all the way down to the Tyler Heroes, Marcus Smarts, the 6th, 7th guys on these benches. These have been the 2 most complete teams that I've seen in the playoffs. I just don't know if they have that star power to get through. But this matchup, this finals matchup, conference finals matchup, is going to be amazing. Did I lose you? He made a weird face, and now he's frozen. Seal is frozen with a weird face. All right, well, I'm just going to keep talking until he snaps back. So, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker. Oh, he's back.
I'm back now?
You're back now.
You were unstable for a minute.
You were unstable on my end, so whichever side it was.
Am I unstable again now that you're unstable? So it's going to be my side probably, because it told me whenever I got onto Zoom that I didn't have enough memory, even though I deleted literally everything, including my sound in this computer. I still don't have enough memory. So I was thinking about putting it on my flash drive, but if I put my flash drive in, I don't have enough for the webcam and the mic, and I'm not going back to that shitty-ass webcam. And I can't do anything without this mic because I don't have a mic in audio in this.
Well, we're almost done anyway. Talk to me about Boston and Miami.
But, yes, I am pissed off that it's Boston, but I really love the matchup here. The Raptors probably would have gotten beaten in 5-6 games. So I'm excited that it is this matchup. Unfortunately, the name is Celtics, and they're from Boston. Go Cavs. The Celtics all day, every day. But anyways, I'm excited for it. But I really do feel like the Heat could give whoever comes out of the Western Conference, whether it is the Clippers, the Nuggets, or the Lakers, a real fight just because of what they've proven so far. They are so complete. They are so deep. They can run 8-9 guys in the playoffs, which is absolutely absurd in today's age.
Yeah, the Bucks tried that, and we saw what happened.
Exactly. But they can run 8-9 guys, and they're not going to skip a beat. They have the Tyler Heroes. They have the Jay Crowders. They have the Duncan the Robinsons. I was going to say they have the vets, the Gordon Dragiches. They have the vets, the Jimmy Butlers. They have the vets. Udonis Haslem. They have those guys.
Is he still on their team?
Yeah, he was on the team. I don't know if he went to the bubble with them, but he was on the team this year.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure he probably is still in the bubble with them because Udonis
awesome.
is all about that. What is it? 305? Yeah, he's all about the 305, the Heat. But they have those vets. They have those youngsters. They have everything. They have the coach. They have the Pat Riley. They have everything it takes to win a chip this year, which nobody fucking thought of except for Jimmy Butler.
Except Jimmy.
So shout out to Jimmy Butler. He loves Tyler Hero. That's his guy. I don't know if he knew that he was going to be like, I don't know what happened there, but that pick was the smartest thing they ever did. Getting Duncan Robinson, the MVP of the G League last year, one of the other smartest things they ever did. To get Jay Crowder, who everybody thought was a wash-up on the Jazz, another smartest thing they ever did. Because that dude is just balling like bonkers. Getting rid of Hassan Whiteside, one of the greatest blockers we've seen in today's age, another smartest thing they've ever did. And that's just a testament to Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley and what they have going on. And to have somebody just like them on the court and Jimmy B, they could win a ship this year, bro.
Yeah, but then to combat that, everything you just named that the Heat have, Boston has. They have the Jason Tatums and Jaylen Browns that are going to be the big scorers. They have the veterans in Kemba Walker that's going to go out there and do his thing. They have the depth in Daniel Tice and Marcus Smart and those guys. They can play offense. They can play defense. They can also do it all. They have the coach, which you named. The only thing is who is the better superstar out of Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum. It might come down to the final there.
That's the thing. Who's the better superstar in Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum? Not Kemba Walker.
No, not Kemba Walker.
Not Kemba Walker. The signing that they just had. Not Gordon Hayward, another signing that they recently had. It's going on the draft pick that is his third year in the league.
Yeah,
we're not worried you're not worried about he is great, but we saw them in the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago. Go Cavs. But he wasn't great then. He might be great now, but it's Jimmy Butler. We know he's great. We know he's ready for this stage. His teams weren't. The Sixers weren't ready for it. He was way above them. The Timberwolves damn sure aren't ready for it.
Yeah.
What's that coach's name? I forget. He's not in the. Is he even in the league?
Thibodeau.
Right, Thibodeau.
The Bulls, when Butler was on it, was
damn
not ready
sure.
for it.
Yeah, he damn sure wasn't ready for it then either. So it's. I think this is Jimmy's time. This is Jimmy's team, and they're going to get through. It's that exact thing that you just said. Jason Tatum or Jimmy Butler. When it comes to Kemba, you can't rely on Kemba. And he's the vet. Jason Tatum, he's not proven here. He is not proven here. And if Jimmy Butler's not, they are absolutely fucked. The Heat are. They might be able to squeeze in 2 or 3 wins and cause the game 7, but without Jimmy Butler being that glue, being that guy, I don't like who would be the guy to pick it up. Duncan Robinson can come in and spurt up into game 7.
Dragic is probably the best bet to be the guy that would pick up.
And they have been smart, and he's been – I don't know. Is Kendrick Nunn hurt?
No, he was gone for COVID too, and he played like 6 minutes or something in the last game against the Bucks. So I think he's trying to get into game shape.
If they keep Dragic, they are smart because his age, his wisdom in this playoff basketball, and his knowledge of Spoelstra's offense, he's looked great. He's turned the time a little bit in the last couple series, and I've been like, damn, maybe he shouldn't retire. Maybe he shouldn't go over to the Euro League and just kind of do his farewell tour. Like, maybe he really should be like Melo. Maybe he should still be here. And it's been fun to see. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be the Heat. Well, I hate the Heat. And probably 6 games.
I think it's going to go 7. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think Butler's going to win a game, and then Tatum's going to get mad and go out and win a game. And then Dragic will go out and I think it could be 7 games with 7 different leading scorers. It truly could with these two teams. It's pretty crazy. Tatum
is definitely on the favored half of it being in the bubble. He doesn't have to go to Miami and deal with those fans. Like, what was it? Was it it was the Cavs. He had to go into the queue and just couldn't really deal with that atmosphere, it seemed like, and just kind of melted down. And he doesn't have to deal with that. It's quiet. It's like he's in a gym and he's playing a pickup game against Courtney Lee, and we all know how that goes.
Yeah, exactly. So what other –
He's going to hate me if we ever get big.
Yeah, if he ever listens to any of these episodes, he's going to be like, who is this kid that keeps thinking he can hit stuff in my eye?
I'll be like, bro, it's okay. You put it right back in my eye. We're good. We got even, but I just like to talk about it.
So before we get out of here, what other shout-outs do we have with any sport, whatever related?
Not Australian football, because Essendon Bombers suck for some reason. We were 4-1, and there's no hopes of playoffs
it's not good
this year. No.
I want to shout out Dominic Thiem. He won the U.S. Open, and it was really crazy because it looked like it was Novak Djokovic's tournament to win because Federer wasn't there and Nadal wasn't there. Well, Djokovic, what's up?
I have the wrap up.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
No, I have the ending. That's what I was trying to say.
I thought you said I have to wrap up. It's like,
no, you're good.
So
right, baby.
Novak Djokovic got upset while playing Carreño Busta, or however you say that guy's name, and he smacked the ball behind him, and it nailed a lady in the throat. One of the line judges in the throat. She collapsed. Luckily, she was fine, last I heard. But that's pretty much an immediate expulsion. They call it defaulting. And so he was kicked out. And it stinks because he did it on accident. He just smacked it behind him. He ran to her aid right away. It's not like Djokovic is a bad guy. That's not what I'm trying to say. But he got ejected. He's done. So it became anybody's game because everybody that was left after he defaulted had never won a major before. So it became this thing that somebody's got to win. Well, Dominic Thiem, who was the 2 seed, was the guy that was expected to win. In the semifinals, was down 2-0, came clawing all the way back, fought off a couple of match points, came in to win in 5 sets. Then he makes it to the finals. You think, well, now he's going to be tired. He played the later game in the semifinals. He had to go the full time. Zverev came out and did exactly what you would expect. Went up 2-0, super quick, and was about to put this game away. And somehow Dominic Thiem just continued to find something, continued to win points, continued to fight off breaks, continued to go through. And he made it to a tiebreak in the 5th set and then was down in the tiebreak again and just continued to find point after point after point and won his first U.S. Open. And you can put an asterisk next to this if you want because the big 3 really weren't there and there were no fans and all of that. But shout out to Dominic Thiem. It's not his fault, kind of like the LeBron argument all the time. He just beat the people that you put in front of him, and that's all he can do. So shout out to him. I know a lot of tennis fans are going to say it's not real, but it's real to him. And I watched a lot of the matches, and those matches were real. So shout out to him.
For sure. That is a great shout out. And that was such a bizarre thing because the Joker really thought it was his. I mean, when he went into that, he was like, all right, bet. I mean, I'm about to – what is he, 3 off of Federer, 2 Nadal? He has 17, right?
Something like that.
So, I mean, he was like, let's close this gap, baby.
Yeah.
And then one pissed off error, and he's out of there. So, yeah, good shout out. But, whoa. I wanted to end this on a kind of I always do the emotional thing sometimes, but Friday was 9/11. It's been 19 years. 19. 19 years now, 2001.
Time moves so fast.
So fast, dude. But there's this guy I saw, every year he does 110 flights of stairs, decked out in full firefighter
gear. Yeah.
Don't know his name. I tried to find it, can't find it. But shout out to him, man. And that is so important, especially in today's world that we're in. We can't forget how blessed we are. And that 19 years ago, I was in 5th grade. You were what, 6th, 7th grade?
7th grade. I remember.
I was in 5th. I remember it so vividly. It was such a tragedy that happened to our country, which brought us as a whole together as a country for a pretty long time. And we have to get back to that love of being just together and being an American. No matter where you're from, at the end of the day, you don't fuck with America. You don't fuck with our country, whether it's the Pentagon, whether it's the Twin Towers. people who were able to save the plane and
in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania. Like, no matter what it is, you don't fuck with America. And that's something we need to really remember this year more than ever. And we're all one. We've all been through a lot of shit together. And at the end of the day, we're brothers and sisters, no matter what color of skin we are, no matter where we're from, no matter where we've moved to this country from, or our grandparents or our great grandparents. Right now, we're all Americans, and now it's more important than ever to remember what's happened and the real reason that we need to be together, because a lot of people have been lost in recent memory on that day. And I saw a clip, 5 seconds was the average response time for a New York Fire Department person. 5 seconds. 5 fucking seconds. And think, whenever I was graduating, I was planning on going and shipping off and going overseas. And a lot of people in Palatka, that was the way out.
Yeah.
And it was a wartime. I remember when I was in 6th grade, whenever I got to Palatka, it was the last 9 weeks. So it was somewhere around April. And that was the worst month that we ever had in a war. We had a civil war, guys. That was us on us. We had more deaths in that April of 2002, 2003 than we had ever had in a war, an American death count. And that shit happened. Like, we can never forget what happened and what came of that. And we have to love each other, man. At the end of the day, it's all about love. It's all about respect. And that's it.
For sure. Couldn't have said it any better myself. So all I'll say is be a stud, not a scrub.